Hello, welcome to our December 8th live session. And today we're going to talk about your PR in Canada as a mature student. Do you want a serious PR option before your postgraduate work permit expires? Are you losing hope in the express entry point system and see no chances of being invited for PR with these high CRS score limits? Are you an international student who's going to graduate or has already from an institution, a public institution, and you want to be self-employed and convert to PR? Everyone knows that most job offers, you need a job offer, or in express entry, it does not allow you to be self-employed or have self-employed experience inside Canada. But these 6 provinces that we'll cover today all allow international students to take control of their own destiny by nominating yourselves for PR through your own companies. There are some eligibility criteria which we'll cover today. And don't go around begging your employers for sponsorship or nominations or go through all the stress of trying to convert to PR by finding an employment, when you can be your own employer and even partner up with another fellow graduate to start a business together based on specific provincial eligibility criteria. Take control of your own PR path on your own terms. We will show you how in our live video recording today. Hello, my name is Reza and I work with the Ingwe immigration team helping applicants move to Canada. Whether it's for yourself, your kids, your business, or all of the above, we do make it happen. Let me make this clear. I'm not an actual full-time YouTuber, but I work hands-on with our licensed team, working on actual applications and communicating with the Canadian Immigration Department, both inside and outside of Canada, on a daily basis on behalf of our clients. These videos are made for the purpose of sharing our hands-on immigration knowledge with our worldwide audience. And if you're thinking about immigrating, well, at Ingwe, we break down the barriers between countries so you can study, work, and invest in the destination of your choice. We're licensed and we help applicants just like you and your families. Well, this is one of my favorite programs, since it could have been one of the programs I would have selected myself if I was going to immigrate to Canada for the first time, if I was between the ages of 28 to 65, let's say. It's always good to look at the programs from the perspective of the applicants and not just as a Canadian. Previously, there were only 3 provinces which offered this international graduate entrepreneurial program. But now there's actually 6 provinces out of the total 10 provinces and 3 territories which are offering this specific international graduate entrepreneur program. In a nutshell, these programs allow international students who have or can graduate successfully from a public post-secondary institution in one of the eligible provinces to start or buy a business, become self-employed, meet the program eligibility, and then apply under these provincial programs to be nominated for PR by avoiding express entry and everything else. So basically, this means you've created your own business or bought one, issued yourself a job offer for a PR through the provincial program. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely a choice for mature students and entrepreneurial students who don't want to go working for other employers. Here's the 6 provinces that have these programs as of December 2022. And remember, folks, immigration programs change all the time. So keep tuned and make sure all the information that we provide you double check on the date of applying. The original 3 provinces which had these programs were always in the Atlantic region: Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland. Then the rest of the provinces caught on and copy-pasted these programs in their own little version, right? And there, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, which Manitoba has a pilot program ongoing right now. These are the 6 provinces as per December 22, which offer these specific self-employed international student programs, path to PR, that we will cover today. Okay. Out of the 6, I've ranked them in order of best in terms of options, flexibility for your PR. And we're going to cover the top 4 today. Number 1, Alberta. Well, because any international student who's graduated from any other province in Canada could potentially become eligible to apply under that program in Alberta. Number 2, Manitoba. It's got the fastest program because it's only 6 months of running your business. Number 3, Saskatchewan. Great flexibility and can also combine an application or do a joint venture with another graduate or an international student. And number 4, Nova Scotia. It's one of the oldest programs for international graduate entrepreneur stream and is one of the more solid ones. And then number 5 and 6 are Newfoundland and New Brunswick. We will cover the top 4 provinces on our list in more detail today so you understand what is the requirement, will you be eligible, and how to go about it. Some key eligibility criteria which are shared across most of these provincial programs for international graduate entrepreneur streams are as follows. You should have a postgraduate work permit or at least be eligible for one. Live in the province and own and manage your business. That's key, right? All the provinces actually want you to settle there. That's a requirement. You can't be remote in another province or country even. You need to own 33.33% of the business that you're running or starting or buying, except for Manitoba, which requires 51% minimum equity to be controlled by the applicant, and Alberta, which is slightly higher at 34% control of the business for the applicant. You need to run and operate the business for minimum 12 months inside the province, except for Manitoba, which accepts 6 months before you can apply and be invited and nominated for PR. Complete a 2-year post-secondary degree or diploma from a public post-secondary institution, such as a college or university. This is universal in all of the provinces. If you do a 1-year, it doesn't count. If you do a 2-year, whether it's a master's, diploma, degree, 2 years and more, you will be eligible. You need to graduate. That's another key point. So don't leave halfway through your studies and think you'll be eligible. You need an IELTS or CLB7 CELPIP or French equivalent and TCF or TEF score before being eligible to apply under these provincial programs. You must have lived in the province in the initial study period, except for Alberta, and the minimum age is 21 across all provinces. Alberta does make an exception to this as well, and in Manitoba, you've got a maximum age of 35 for applicants. But the rest of the provinces don't necessarily have mandatory maximum age limits. You need to be able to pay yourself a salary as owner as per the low income cutoff table published on the Canadian government website. It's over $20,000 per year. This is uniform across all the provinces. So the key is your business needs to have revenue and be sound financial health. So no losses. You should be able to cover all your expenses and your own salary and any other business expenses. Okay, it doesn't need to be profitable, but it needs to cover your salary, any other salaries, and business expenses with positive cash flow and the potential to grow and become profitable in the future if you're not already profitable. A financial audit of the company. Financials will need to be conducted before you're nominated. The business should have economic benefit for the province. If you're buying a business, you need to keep all the jobs and not fire everyone in terms of the Canadians. And there is 99% of the time there will be an in-person interview at the provincial nominee office locally in the province you're applying. For these specific provincial programs, after your expression of interest, you will do an invitation to apply. There will be an application, an audit, and you will be interviewed and then processed for a provincial nomination, which you will use to apply for your PR through the federal government. And of course, if your postgraduate work permit is expiring and you do receive the nomination and apply for your PR, you could be eligible to apply for a bridging open work permit to extend your stay in Canada, run your business while your PR is processed by IRCC on the federal stage. So let's jump into all these 4 of these top 6 programs, because they're the best programs you should be applying under. So there are some key features of these programs that differentiate each other. So the Saskatchewan International Graduate Stream dictates that your postgraduate work permit should be valid for at least 24 months when you're applying, okay? And your business performance agreement will be for 2 years, but you can run the business for 1 year before you actually apply to be nominated. This specific province also allows joint applicants to apply together to run a business or buy a business and be nominated. So you could pool your funds together to buy or start a business with a fellow graduate, let's say, from the province. There's some specific industries or businesses they don't like to approve, like wholesale trading or import-export without added value. And you can refer to the SINP detailed list of ineligible businesses on their website. And we're going to post that on our article as well on our website over the coming weeks. It's easy to get 20 to 35 points in the Saskatchewan International Graduate Entrepreneurs Points Matrix based on your age, education, and minimum language exam score. So that's the basics, right? So you can score very quickly 20 to 35 points there. If it's tech related or outside of the capital region, Regina, you can potentially claim an additional 30 or more points and another 20 points bonus points right off the bat if your partner or spouse who's here inside Canada has studied in the province or has minimum of 6 months full-time employment in the province itself when you're applying. So there you go. That is the provincial points matrix and how to sort of gain those points quickly. It's not a very difficult points-based system like the express entry. It's quite simple. It's probably one of the best provincial points systems anywhere are for the international graduate entrepreneurial streams. They don't make it very difficult. If you notice, there's no minimum investment in most of these programs and no minimum net worth audit, which are a very basic eligibility criteria under the traditional entrepreneurial programs, not for international students. So this is a huge advantage. For Nova Scotia, you need to create at least one full-time job for Canadian permanent resident or citizen. And if you meet the minimum eligibility criteria for the Nova Scotia program, scoring points is easy. So you need at least 3 years work experience in the last 10 years in specific tier not code occupations, whether it's overseas or not. You'll score immediately like 42 points. To get 47 points, which is the minimum threshold right now as per the latest November draw 2022, you can be between the ages 21 to 55 to get 5 bonus points, or have your spouse or partner submit a language exam score of CLB4, which is the lowest, and have 1 year work experience in the province. It's that simple. You could also get bonus points in Nova Scotia by purchasing a business, which will allow you to claim another 5 points. And remember, 47 is the last draw. Anywhere from 47 to 52, you will be selected in the Nova Scotia International Graduate Entrepreneur Stream. Let's look at Manitoba, the pilot program. It allows 20 students per year to be nominated and approved under this program for PR. Attending an information session in Winnipeg in the Manitoba PNP office before you apply is mandatory, and having your business plan approved before you start the 6-month operations of your business is also mandatory. There's no points-based system for this stream, unlike the other provinces like Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan and so forth. And you can run the business for 6 months before becoming eligible to be nominated. Remember, you still need to be able to pay yourself a salary and not lose money and the rest of the business expenses when you're planning to apply. Maximum accepted age in Manitoba, unfortunately, is 35, which I think is a little bit weird. But net worth verification of your source funds, which you will use to invest or buy a business, will also have to be done by a designated accounting firm that Manitoba has approved, and you need to own minimum 51% of any business that you're running, buying, or starting. And in Alberta, one of the best programs, and it's our number one across all these 6 provinces for the international graduate entrepreneurial stream. Applicants can start the business before they're even invited or approved. Not mandatory to start but you could. Imagine you're studying and you're studying your own business. If you have any partners for this business, they need to be Canadian PRs or citizens. No exceptions unless you control it 100% yourself. No other partners who are not Canadian. If you're looking for another option like that, look to the Saskatchewan program, which allows you to join hands with another international graduate. For the Alberta programs, these factors that I'm going to explain will increase your chances of being approved and invited for the provincial nomination for your PR. A, having a minimum of 6 months prior work experience in managing or running a business, whether inside or outside Canada. Remember, you could technically run your business before you apply and earn that experience. You can also skip this if you've completed an entrepreneurship program, like for your academic program, as part of your studies, which is approved by the Alberta PNP, and those programs are also listed on their website. Hiring Canadians or setting up in the rural parts of the province, buying a business, having incubators or angel investors or venture capital supporting your business, right? Having intellectual property or being between the ages 21 to 49, although it's not mandatory to be at a max age of 49. All these factors or any of them can give you bonus points in terms of preferential treatment to be selected and invited for Alberta. Having relatives in the province or having your spouse or partner study or work experience or prove language ability is also bonus in terms of Alberta prioritizing your selection and inviting you for PR. And international graduates who have already established businesses in Alberta and are currently operating them will not be required to operate their businesses for an additional 1 year after applying for this program. So you've already done the 1 year, right? And then you apply. So that's huge. International graduates from any province who own and operate a business in Alberta and residing in the province, of course, after graduating from any other province as an international student and being eligible for a postgraduate work permit, are also eligible to be running their business for minimum 12 months in the province before applying. And you should be residing in the province. So that flexibility is huge. And that's probably the number one reason this program is number one on our list for international graduate entrepreneurs. A few immigration hacks, of course. You can start your business even while you're still studying and don't need to wait to start it when you actually have a postgraduate work permit. You can apply for these listed provincial programs when you do have a PGWP, but you have had a successful business by the time you're ready to apply. And you can hack through that 12-month period. Again, pay specific attention to the provincial regulations, such as the Saskatchewan, which requires you to run the business 12 months after your business is approved, and Manitoba, which requires you to be approved to run it for 6 months. Study an entrepreneurship program, like an academic program, as part of your diploma or degree for minimum 2 years in Alberta to skip the whole work experience bonus point, so you get preferential treatment if you do have that experience. And if you studied in another province, again, Alberta allows you to run a business there and as an international student, even if you didn't study there. Another interesting factoid here is that if none of these programs fit you or these provinces are not your preferred choice, let's say you're in BC, the original entrepreneur programs in a lot of provinces allow international students who have postgraduate work permits to actually invest and start or buy a business in their provinces under the base category entrepreneurial programs. For example, BC base category or Ontario and so on. So your options are endless, but these programs have stricter criteria, the traditional entrepreneurial programs, and the investment criteria are more, and there's net worth audits. So it's a little bit more competitive, but if you're a mature student with previous history of business ownership experience and have the funds to do so and don't want to go in one of these 6 provinces that we discussed today, well, you've got the other traditional entrepreneur programs open to you as a postgraduate work permit holder as an international student. Well, would you consider starting your own business or buying any existing one to secure your path to PR as an international student? We'd love to hear from you and your comments as an international student about your selection of a PR program, especially more mature students who have previous business management or ownership experience and the funds to start or buy a business. If you need help connecting with existing approved and vetted businesses for sale in Canada, or help with the application process or business plan, our team is ready to jump in and help at a moment's notice. Reach out to us anytime through our website. And if you're thinking about immigrating through studies, startup, business, or existing businesses, not in that specific order, you're at the right place. I can guarantee you only one point. You will know what to expect, the entire process clearly laid out for you, all the risks and costs identified, and where we can provide you as our client 100% support. No surprises, just results. We have a $1 million liability insurance which protects you and us from mistakes or fraud, as well as a dedicated client trust account with our banks. Our team speaks over 8 languages, and we help applicants from over 47 different countries during their immigration process, and that number is increasing. Click the link below this video to get a free email assessment for qualified applicants. And if you already know what you want, your timeline is clear, you're ready to apply, you can also book a one-on-one consultation with me or any of my other licensed immigration consultant team members. And if you have questions, of course, we're here live every Thursday, like we are today, on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at 11 a.m. North America Eastern Standard Time, where we answer all of your Canadian immigration questions for free on the spot. And yes, we're going to jump into your questions now. And a quick comment to everyone who is on Facebook or Instagram. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see your comments live, only on YouTube. So we'll be answering our YouTube questions and comments. Nasrin Ebrahimi says, hello, Reza Jun. Hello back, Rosita. Layli Reza says, thank you, sir. Yes, thank you back. Project Workout Hour says, hi. Hi, Project Workout. Glad you could make it today for our live stream. And if you're wondering what's this guy talking about, well, this is a live recording. There's no special effects. There's no editing. There's nothing, no special background. It's all about answering your questions live and talking about the International Graduate Entrepreneur Stream. And if you're watching a recording of this, of course, you can rewind, fast forward, do whatever you like. And if you have any questions, you post it about Canadian immigration. And there is no such thing as a simple or dumb question. Every question is worthwhile because we're educating our worldwide audience, folks. Okay? So basically, we don't have a lot of questions, which is great because that means I get to talk less and I can go have my coffee, I can have my tea. And if you're wondering if I'm in a tropical area, yeah, I'm in the tropics of Canada. Yes, Canada in its tropics. It's like 0 degrees -2 here in Canada. If you're not in Canada already, well, you should come over. Sopan Tarian says hi. Hi, Sopan. Nice to see you. We're here. We've dedicated this time every Thursday to connect with our audience on YouTube and answer any of their questions. Project Workout Hour says help. No worries. You can write what you want us to answer. And if it's immigration related, of course, we will answer it live on our stream today. And if you missed today's live session and you're watching a recording, of course, you can tune in next Thursday. We are here on the clock every week. No matter what, I'm coming to Injan intake. Okay, Project Workout. So you're coming to Canada to study, to start your studies in January, which is great news. I mean, it is a bit cold in January, February, March, and April, but still, at least you're coming in and starting the path. Shahzad Ahmad says, hello, Shahzad, how are you? Nice to see you online. And today we covered the Entrepreneur International Graduate Stream, which is, I think, one of the best programs, which is one of the most underrepresented programs or less marketed programs. A lot of people are not seeing this program or don't know it exists and not applying. But I think compared to startup visa, compared to entrepreneurial categories, compared to skilled immigration, compared to express entry, this is one of the best programs out there for mature students, right? And if you're here with your spouse or partner, there's options available for you. If there's no questions today, great. I always love it when there's no questions. And we can move on, and we will tune back in next week. If you have a question, okay, Project Workout just posted a question. Any tips for a young international college student? Any mistakes to avoid? Well, Project Workout Hour, the typical mistakes to avoid as an international student are: attend class full time. Don't listen to anyone else if they say, oh, it's fine. Don't, you can take off a semester. Go to all the classes. Make sure you've got your attendance, because they will issue reports of absenteeism to the Canadian Border Security Agency officers and IRCC. Make sure you keep track of your study permit expiry date when they give it to you at the border. A lot of people forget, and they cannot, and they lose status, or they need to restore, right? Make sure you find employment while you're working, while you're studying. So it could be part-time, full-time, off, or on campus. Again, this is as per policies up to end of December 2023. So as soon as you graduate, you have a plan and potentially employment to convert to PR, right? So take your studies, make sure you do all your studies. You don't skip semesters. That's the worst thing. If you feel sick or something happens, you've got to request permission or leave for up to maximum 150 days from the college, in which has to be documented with proof of why you asked for this leave. Okay? Otherwise, study, work at the same time if you need to, and then have a plan with your employer or the future for your PR after graduation. Typical mistakes by international students: forgetting your study permit expiry date, not looking for employment on time, taking time off in academic semesters, and not realizing that you're losing status. Okay? So Pontarian says, if you have a 2-year program but finish it in 1.4 years, so my PGWP can be 2 years? Yes, Sopan. If you successfully do an accelerated program or studies for a 2-year program within a shorter time, you are eligible for a traditional 3-year postgraduate work permit based on the discretion of the IRCC officer. Hasnain Avan says startup visa minimum requirements. Okay, Hasnain, I would say startup visa minimum requirements are you need to have a Canadian language benchmark of 5 in English or French. You do need to have minimum settlement funds as per IRCC. They prefer that you have some investment from somewhere yourself, bootstrapping, or another business to run the business, right? You need money to start a business. Economic benefit, okay? So you need to intend to start and run the business. Police clearance certificate, medical admissibility. Those are basically the minimum requirements of a federal startup visa requirement. No problem, project workout hour. And stay tuned next year in January or potentially February, we're going to talk about the startup visa provincial program. Now that's an interesting program, and I prefer it way more than the federal program for startup visa. Okay? Tune in January for that. We're going to roll out new videos next week, the week after as well, all the way till the end of the year. IRCC news updates, entrepreneurial investment programs, more content for international students, and more pathways for PR for students in Ontario. And remember, folks, we are licensed and we help applicants across all of Canada. 10 provinces, 3 territories up north. Okay, so we've got clients in BC, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Alberta, Ontario, and so forth. Project Workout says, sir, you earned a subscriber. There you go. Thumbs up to Project Hour. Great. So we're going to talk about some great programs over this next 4 weeks. We're getting more info from our incubators, designated organizations on all the gossip on the federal startup visa program. And we're going to offer you other alternative programs over the coming weeks and into the new year of 2023, talking about alternative programs to the startup visa federal program as well. Because a lot of people don't know or are not aware, and sometimes they're misled with certain immigration programs. Hasnain says 80,000 Canadian dollars. Is it possible? Any type of startup? Thanks. Hasnain, you got to consider that the incubators, venture capital, angel investors will charge some funds most of the time if you don't have revenue yet and cannot give equity of your startup that is based on revenue. Yeah, it is possible, Hasnain. It's not possible. Okay, if you reach out to us, let us know. If you meet the eligibility criteria, we are ready to help you. James Gichuhi. Hey, I am James from Kenya. Hey, James, how are you? Nice to have somebody from Kenya join us. As I said, we have everyone from Canada, US, Central South America, and overseas, Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan. Everyone is joining us. So James, if you have any question or Hasnain, post it. Otherwise, you can always reach out to us and our team at the Ingwe website. Fill out the contact form. My colleagues will contact you and qualify you, and we can do a free assessment, email assessment for qualified applicants. Project Workout says India. Perfect. That is the #1 country of immigration to Canada. It's an official statistic by RCC. It's from India. #2 is China. #3 is Philippines. #4 is the US. And then, it just goes on. If you want those stats, reach out to me. I'll be glad to email it to you about startup visa, IRCC immigration stats, and so forth. James, thanks for joining us. Hasnain, thank you as well. Project Workout Hour. Great that you're a new subscriber. We're here every Thursday. Plus, we roll out a pre-recorded video every week as well on another topic. So that gives you 2 separate topics, brand new topics every week. Okay. And we are first generation immigrants with our firm. So we do understand the challenges and the risks and uncertainties involved. Let's get to it, folks. We will see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Take care, and upcoming New Year's and holidays as well. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone.